Hello there. What's going on? Okay. I'm just going to jump right into what I'm doing. I am going to give a book review for this book called November Road. It's by Lou Berney, the author, and it's a fictional book, and it tells a story around the historical account of the Kennedy assassination. I was excited to read this book and find out what it was about because the title alone, November Road, inspired me because my birthday is in November. And an unfortunate fact is that I was born on the same day that the late President Kennedy was assassinated. He was assassinated November 22nd, 1963. So, and on November 22nd, 1982, this doll before you was born, okay? I love my day, but then, it was kind of sad, to know that somebody important like that died. God bless his soul. So anyway, and not to be rude or anything, but I gotta get on with the book review. It was a good book, and what I never read any one of Lou Berney's books before, and I would recommend that people read this book. It is a great book. I don't know about the other ones. I can't say. I won't tell you if I'll read that. I'm definitely for sure that I'm going to read any other one of his books or whatever. But okay. So because this was just by happenstance, but I do like that it. What grasped my attention was that it started off with sex. Okay. Yeah, so one of the characters, his name was Frank Guidry. He was a fellow member of a mob gang. His name was the leader was named Carlos something, and he stayed in New Orleans, and he had a good old time with some of the girls, with the girls that were in the streets or whatever, and he paid for them to have a good time with. And the second lady that he had over to his house or whatever, and then she was supposed to leave, and she wasn't supposed to be there when he woke up, but she was, and she was sitting on his couch, and I think she was watching TV, or listening to the radio. I'm not sure if he had a TV or not. But anyway, the news was playing about the big shock to the world at the moment that President Kennedy was assassinated, and they were doing the was it the inauguration or the parade or something, and so he got shot in the head or whatever by a sniper. And so it was shocking to everybody. And so the characters that were written about had expressed we got to see what they were doing at that period of time, and how did they take it or whatever, and then some people around them. And so we learned about Frank Guidry, and then we also learned about a housewife with two beautiful girls, Joan and Rosemary, in Oklahoma, Woodrow, Oklahoma. And so pretty much Frank Guidry and Charlotte they're going to run into each other or whatever. And I'll just go ahead and say it while it's on my mind, and I gotta stop saying I will go ahead and say it while it's on my mind that they're both on the run. So Frank Guidry figured out the plan before it even manifested, that because he was somehow involved in that assassination, Carlos, who he worked for, he arranged that whole assassination thing. And so Frank Guidry, he didn't know that what his role in it was was going to support that or whatever, but it ended up, he's like, he figured it out. The car that I dropped off in Dallas was the getaway car for the sniper to get away and go down to Houston. And when that news came out, he's like, he figured out, he said, "Oh, they're gonna want me to get the same guy to get rid of the car, and then they're gonna get rid of the man who has the car." So after he dropped off the car down in Houston, he drove it into a lake or whatever. He began to flee and run so that he wouldn't get caught or whatever. Carlos and them knew that he was on a run, so it's been a chase since then. And Charlotte lived in Woodrow, Oklahoma. She was a housewife and she had 2 girls, and she worked as well to make ends meet. Her husband worked as well, but her husband was also a drunk, and I think they've been together for like 10 years. And they've been together for 10 years, but I think they was only married for about 2 or 3 years or whatever. But anyway, so this was also around Thanksgiving. Now, what I couldn't figure it out in the book was the time when, okay, so Charlotte, let me get my thoughts together. Okay, so Charlotte and her family were having dinner with the in-laws and stuff. They came to the house and ate Thanksgiving dinner. But as the story progresses, even after she met Frank Guidry, Thanksgiving hasn't came up yet. It was that following week. So like, did that family have Thanksgiving early or whatever? Like, it was like right after the day after, or a couple of days after the assassination, which was on the 22nd. So I'm thinking, like, what day was the 22nd on in 1963? I'm gonna have to look that up. So anyway, and I guess that was what their family routine was, to have Thanksgiving dinner before, or a week before, because Thanksgiving Day wasn't until after she decided to run off. Her husband said that he was gonna go get some milk for the kids, and then she knew by his past behaviors, say he gonna go get some milk. He gonna bring back home some milk, but after he go out for his drink, and when he go out for his drink, he ain't gonna be back to the next morning or whatever. So she took the money that her in-laws had gave her to help her and him. She took that money and pocketed it and put it with her kids' savings, and she left. So from Oklahoma, she was gonna go to LA. That was her plan, and stay with her auntie. And she took the route to go through Texas and down through to New Mexico and travel along that way. So and it just so happened that's how Frank Guidry from Houston, he went up to Dallas and then went back down south or west to go to New Mexico and then travel that way or whatever. So I'm going to skip through a whole lot because it's getting kind of long. The other thing that, it was very interesting to find out how Frank Guidry was able to finesse his way into getting Charlotte and the girls to either ride along with him or they ride with him to LA so that he can camouflage his persona and throw his chasers off, because they're looking for a single guy, and he was tall or whatever, and he was he had these distinct features that would easily be able to identify, or whoever was on the lookout for him, they would be able to identify him. And so he wanted to switch it up, and he said, wouldn't it be, yeah, I'm gonna be a family man or whatever, because he did ended up, they were down there in they were in New Mexico, San Marco or something, I don't know, but I forgot. But they came across each other. Charlotte thought he was a nice man, and you know what I'm saying, and vice versa, whatever. He seen the girls, he were nice to them, he befriended them, because Charlotte was stranded down there because her car had gotten into an accident on the way there, and so they was staying in a motel for a few days because it was gonna take a few days before her car get fixed. And anyway, so they were befriended, and he was staying there for a few days as well. And anyway, so that day when her car was supposed to be fixed, Frank Guidry, he got up early in the morning and wanted to get out in town before Charlotte and the girls got in town. And so he made it to the car lot where the mechanic who was fixing Charlotte's car, and some kind of way he paid him off and told him, tell Charlotte, Tell the lady that her car is gone, like it's total, ain't no fixing it or whatever. And so that's exactly what happened. The mechanic didn't even look her in the face or whatever, but told her that yeah, your car is gone, like, you know, it's irreparable or whatever. So basically, she didn't have no way to continue her journey. Frank did. So the nice guy that befriended her and her girls had said, you know, I'm going to LA too. So, you know, you want to just ride with me or whatever, it's fine. And so, yep, they end up doing it. Okay. Long story short. Okay. Moving on along. So they continue their journey. Barone is after Barone, the hitman that's after him is trailing him. And he figures out, you know what I'm saying, he gets in a mindset of figure out, you know, what is Frank doing up to it and how he's able to get around. And then he got hurt in Houston, and he makes this color boy drive for him or whatever. So this color boy drives from Houston, from his hometown, to Dallas and all the way to Mexico, and then going to Vegas or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to skip through a whole lot here. I am going to say this, that I am happy that Charlotte, that she made up her mind that she was going to divorce her husband, and she has a plan. She's going to start over and live her life and make a good life for herself and her daughters. And in LA is originally, I mean, this is at the end of the story, you know what I'm saying, we learn, you know, how it ended or whatever. But I'm glad that even though she found a liking with Frank, his name was Frank Wainwright, that's what he told her or whatever, she liked him, he liked her, but he really felt hard. He felt hard for her. Like, yo, this was supposed to be just a camouflage, yo, you know what I'm saying? She gave you a look, and you all talking about you declaring your love, and you want her to go to Vietnam with you and start and live and live a life with you, bring the girls too or whatever. But you know, Charlotte stuck to what she had said. Look, she just got out of, she's still married, by the way, and you know what I'm saying? But she solidified her decision by to divorce her husband by exploring her wild side, and she slept with Frank, and Frank then fell all in love with her and everything like that. And she said, listen, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? And I need to find myself, and I'm not gonna find myself getting on the plane and going out of the country for you. You know what I'm saying, with you. Like, no, I need to do this for me. And so kudos to Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? Baby, women empowerment, baby, for real though. So Frank Guidry ended up, he made it all the way to Vegas. That's where they went first before they went to Las Vegas. He made it to Vegas. He met up with a trusted longtime friend of his, ended up getting killed, but not before he gave Frank the envelope with the plane tickets and the passport and all that, you know what I'm saying, so he can escape the hands of Carlos, the mob leader. Let's see. Barone, his hitman, made it to Vegas as well and figured out where they were staying in a hotel. He found out about Charlotte and the girls. They were in danger, but unfortunately, because his injury, his hand injury, he got cut and then it was infected or whatever. He had a fever a couple of times or whatever on the road, and it took over. His sickness took over again. He wasn't able to complete the task of killing Charlotte. And after Charlotte was able to get away or whatever from that, Charlotte took the girls and she left before Frank came back and could find out about if they was okay or not. She's like, I'm gone. I'm gone, baby. She took her girls and I'm going to LA. We take the taxi. We don't need you. We don't need that car that you promised. We don't need that. I'm gonna take a taxi. We gone. We going to LA. And so that's what happened. And I thought at the end of the story, I thought that Frank was headed to, because it was saying that he was at the airport and he was getting ready to get on the plane or something like that. But then next thing you know, the scene shifted to he was in New Orleans, back in New Orleans, and he was talking to Seraphine, the leading lady of the gang, and he was sitting at the same dinner table as Carlos, face to face. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Listen, you've been looking for me," and he told him his piece or whatever. It told him off real good and made Carlos mad, but he was still able to finish his dinner. Carlos left. He was still able to finish his dinner, and then Seraphine was like, what do you think you did? You know what I'm saying? Like what did you just do? He said, I made my peace. You know what I'm saying? So he knew what was gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Carlos was gonna find him somewhere and kill him. So, but what the thing about, even though I didn't want to see Frank die, but I think it was a peaceful ending or whatever. I guess it was a good ending, because he died on his own terms, and he died. It wasn't, he didn't die unexpectedly. He didn't die because they hunted him down. He came and turned himself in and told them that, here I am. You was looking for me. You been looking for me. You didn't find me until I walked up to you. You know what I'm saying? Now I had to walk up to you, and I came back to New Orleans after all that running I was doing. I happily walked my butt back into New Orleans and sat down at the same table as you is, enjoyed a meal on you, and then ruffled your feathers and everything, and told you that I got all this information on you, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm going to the feds, you know what I'm saying. So that's how it ended. And but it doesn't tell us anything if he went to the feds or not or whatever. All we just know that, he turned around. He was at the park or something like that, at a lake or something. He turned around and a man, you know what I'm saying, was right behind, a shadow was right behind him or something. And we just assumed that, you know what I'm saying, Frank got. But Frank got on his own terms. It wasn't because they had tracked him down. So he had willingly, you know what I'm saying, showed his face up there and knew what the outcome was. And it's safe to assume that when Carlos killed him, Carlos also killed the leading lady or whatever, because she was next. She had it coming. And that's why Seraphine had asked Frank. She's like, do you know what you just did? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We gonna die. Me, I'm not gonna be alone. You dying too. You thought you would say no. But anyway, Baron, his hitman, ended up dying, and then shame on Baron for killing the color boy. That boy ain't do you nothing. That boy was helping you, remind you to take your damn pills, so that you wouldn't get that fever no more. But you left it in his pocket, left him for dead. When you was in Arizona or something like that. Anyway, so that's the story. It was a little bit longer than what I intended it. I wasn't trying to spend that much detail, but I so appreciate this story. It was real good. I recommend it. Like, y'all go pick up November Road, not just because November is the best month of the year. Also, it just reminded me on how much I love reading, and because reading takes you places, reading teaches you things, you learn things or whatever. And one interesting fact that I will never forget, even though it may not seem like nothing, but y'all know about the Houston Texans and where they play in Houston, the Astrodome. The Astrodome was first started being built in 1963, they spoke about it a little bit in this book, and so I had pieced it out. So I say it didn't tell when it was finished or whatever, but I was like, I know they started building it in 1963. So I asked Siri. I said, Siri, hey Siri, when was the Astrodome built in Houston, Texas? And she said 1965. So I was like, that's something that I did not know. And I knew it from reading a book, not watching a movie, not watching YouTube or whatever, not playing the game, but reading the book, y'all. Reading is fundamental. So y'all get into it, okay? This is your review for November Road, and I'm out, okay? Make sure you like and comment to this video, subscribe to it, share it, and yeah, that's it. Bye.